My name's Thomas Waddle. This is the Whisky Sour Hour. Since the beginning of the podcast, there's always been an entertainment bias. There's always been episodes dedicated to films, TV, games, that kind of stuff. I wanted just to kind of go back to the beginning. I know we had Callum on last week discussing all the goings on in the kind of world of gaming. Becoming a dad, I think I posted about this, just saying, I didn't realise just how time consuming it would be. I think I was under the impression that, the babies will sleep properly and time scales will not be changed in anything, when the reality is, the 4 weeks, probably 9 weeks in now, it's the 4 weeks I thought it was going to be just evaporated. Now I have managed to see a film, managed to get to a baby viewing of The Devil Wears Prada 2, which, by the way, cracking movie. But normally the way I would go and watch films and have time to go and see films, at that time is just evaporated. But what I have found myself doing and having a bit more time to do is being able to watch TV. Watched that a lot anyway. That was like, you would do everything through the day, have your dinner, at the dinner table, of course, no phones, because that's just the kind of house this is. We don't want to be doing that. But yeah, you would sit around the TV, the wee man's fed, watered, he's chilled out. Let's quickly watch something. So I just wanted to cover some things that has really got me or got me and the good lady through the kind of evenings. You always want something good to watch and something that grips you. And I think when sometimes you're watching stuff and it's like you kind of force it. I like to think that these shows that I've picked pretty much grab you straight away, because there is nothing worse than thinking, am I going to invest time in this? Because some shows it's like, but it gets good by like the second season. I'll be honest, like The Office, American Office is like that, but I don't think every show needs to be like that. Big fan of Star Trek, but the first seasons and most of the shows are pretty ropey, unfortunately. So yeah, the shows here, I think, grab you from the very beginning, and the shows we've spoken about prior to them starting. Like, I was quite excited about this, and I'm not trying to say like I forecast this, but I just you read something and it kind of whets your appetite a little bit. You're like, here we go, this could be very good. So the way I've done it is I've picked two shows that I think are probably the best thing on TV at the moment. And then I'm going to pick 3 shows that are starting within the next week, a week or two, and I think they're pretty much set up to be all-timer seasons. So five opportunities here to grab your attention. So I hope you enjoy this. But starting off, the one that I was most excited about, and I'd been wanting this probably for about a year and a half, purely just because it comes out in HBO Max, but HBO Max didn't launch here for years, and it was on HBO from last January, and I was just excited about it. I was like, this is going to be great. And when it came out here, it is as great as I hoped it would be, and it's The Pitt. Now, back in the day, I was a big fan of ER. It was, you can watch Casualty, but come on, it's a bit silly, a bit goosey. Whereas The Pitt and ER are just they're just great. And even going back, like, ER has some moments you're just like, what is going on here? But it's quality. It's quality. Michael Crichton really just gave the sauce to that, and same with like Jurassic Park. Yeah, it's just quality. So The Pitt, medical drama, centres around the daily lives of your kind of average, I say average, but supposedly your average A&E or ER in America, and it's based over a 12-hour shift, and it's basically 24 but in a hospital, and I'm all for that. Noah Wiley's in it as Michael Rabinovich, who is maybe my favourite TV character of the last maybe 2 or 3 years, I would say. Unbelievably good. It's emotional. It grabs you, and it's like one of those ones, because it's in sequential order for the shift. They'll talk about something that happened in the first 2 hours of the shift, and it's like, if you do long hours, you sometimes look back and go, wait, what's that today? Like, what happened? It's been such a busy shift. That's what it's like. It ramps up and ramps up and ramps up. and I've like physically felt myself become like uncomfortable watching it, because you're just like, I don't really want to know, but you know you have to. Anybody that's done any kind of first aid courses or had to deal with a first aid emergency probably knows that kind of like, I know I need to do this, but I'm not too sure about if I want to go through it. But no, the Pitt, it is outstanding. Like the awards and the adulation it gets is it's amazing. It is just arguably the best show, maybe in the last decade. High praise, I know, but season 3 is on the way. Season 2 is wrapping up here. I think there's 2 episodes left to go, so you can binge it. You can imagine my disappointment when all of season 1 was there, seeing as it came out last year, and then season 2 was week to week, even though it had wrapped, or it was close to wrapping in America. It was very, very, very difficult. I totally get why they've done it. It gets people coming back every Friday. I'm there ready to watch, but it was pretty sore to have to go through it. But just the hook of it being hourly, based on a shift, there is nothing else like it in TV. And I'm saying that, how long's 24 been off the kind of air for? Something mad like 15 years or something. So it's a very fresh concept. I don't know many shows that use it. So yeah, you get caught up in it. I will say though, just in total transparency, it can be a bit graphic, but in a way that is like realistic. You know, it could be, you know, a degloving, which, you know, do not Google that. It's pretty nasty, and you know, there's maybe like, you know, maybe somebody takes too many blue pills and something's not going down and they need to get it done. It's that kind of stuff's played for laughs. The degloving, not the, you know, is serious, but the other thing. But yeah, you know, like the it's like you have to have a kind of, you end up with that kind of morbid sense of humour. I worked in care for 10 years, and I don't know, you sort of develop this sort of way to cope with some pretty grim stuff, and by the end of the first season especially, you've probably got some of that. You're like, you know, I'm a different person from when I first started. The second season has just been as good, set during kind of the 4th of July. It's just carnage. I can only imagine when those shifts are like. I imagine it's something similar to maybe working the World Cup or something. But yeah, no, unbelievable show. Like unbelievable. It is perfect. So good. And like I said, it's available on HBO Max. I believe if you have Sky, you can get it a certain way or something. But the sooner I could have got rid of Sky, the better. I'll be honest. And yeah, I've got it in HBO. The last episode, I think, is in the next 2 weeks. It's every Friday it goes up, but by the time, you know, you get round watching it, it's, unless you mega binge, which is like, you know, it's something like 24 episodes, and it's annual. They're already starting to film season 3, which is mega exciting. But yeah, HBO Max, every Friday you'll be able to binge that, and also when it's finished, you could start ER, which is also on there. So that's pretty exciting. But to totally change gears, the other show which has just wrapped, Widow's Bay, is on Apple TV Plus. I saw the poster for it, and I was like, nah, I don't know. And what got me into it was I seen a gif of the main character like pratfalling off a chair on a boat with like his life jacket, and it's in kind of like slow motion. It was almost like Charlie Chaplin-esque, and I'm a big fan of the kind of silent, you know, cinema for back in the day. And I was like, I need to watch this. So the show itself, I don't want to spoil it, because it's a horror comedy, but it's so much more than that. That's like totally underselling it. But basically, it's the mayor of a small like New England island fishing kind of community, kind of similar to if you've ever heard of like Martha's Vineyard, that kind of place, which is like somewhere they want to be like, funnily enough, in the show. But he wants to turn it into a major tourist destination, and the plans themselves kind of go awry when it turns out the island's just cursed, and it's just not a great place to be. As I say, it's really, really funny. It's really, I don't know, like there's like a word like that I'm trying to find. It's almost like it balances the nastiness of some of the situations the characters are in, with like this under kind of current of like humour. It's almost like the human and the tragedy just go really well together. And it's Matthew Rhys. So if you've watched like The Americans, it's he's smashing it. He is like the linchpin that holds the show together. Stephen Root is also in it. If anybody's watched the likes of Office Space from back in the day, he's like this kind of like kooky guy who's the guy in the know who knows something's going on, but you know can't get the mayor to get involved at first, just because it does sound so crazy. But things quickly take a turn, and it's almost like Monster of the Week episodes in a sense that there's like events. So although the island is cursed, there's like one episode will be like, I don't want to say like voodoo zombies, but you know, it's kind of like that. And then there's maybe like a monster, and then there's like maybe like pagan experiments. But these are all like individual episodes that go towards the actual show itself, the overall story. So no, unbelievably good. 3 episodes left to go for myself. I didn't. I was watching it, and we got to the point where we were like, actually, you know what? I feel like I really want to binge this, and we were busy anyway, so we didn't want to, you know, like break what we were doing. So we were like, right, we'll wait till it's all out. So that has just finished. But Widow's Bay, Apple TV Plus is unbelievable. It's just so good. It's like, I think if you were to like average it out with hits per like show, it must be up there with like one of the best. I think like every show I've like sat down and watched, bar one, which was called Smoke, and I had no reason to believe it was going to be disappointing. That's the only one I would say. Maybe Taron Egerton, love the guy, just it was a bit not the best. Widow's Bay just steals it, as I say. Mystery thriller, horror, comedy. It's got everything you would want. It's like maybe like 40 minutes. It's like if you remember back in the day when American Horror Story came out, and it was like like that perfect balance before it just went kind of, in my opinion, off the rails. Like, you know, maybe you still watch it. I think it's still going on, but it's got that really good balance of like horror comedy. Like this is the second coming of it, and I mean that in the best possible way. Those are the 2 kind of big ones that I would say are going to be wrapping up soon. Totally get into them because they're like dead easy to watch and a bit spooky, and you've got that kind of drama with the hospital and the pit. Listen, you're in for a treat if you watch either, or you watch or you'll be in for a treat. With shows coming up, June just seems to have exploded, obviously, with the likes of like films coming out. I'm actually quite excited for Supergirl. I might try and fit that one in, but there's been a lot of horror films and stuff coming out. Unfortunately, just with everything going on, I've not been able to indulge the films, but TV shows, like we mentioned, are coming thick and fast. And just to kind of preface this, these are shows that have been going, you know, at least one season, so you've got plenty to watch before the new one kind of kicks in, because they are released weekly. But the first one I wanted to highlight, sticking with the Apple TV Plus, you've got Sugar. Now, for anybody who hasn't saw this, and I don't know many people that have, Sugar's a neo-noir drama. Colin Farrell plays a detective in LA. It's all shot on site. It looks amazing. He's called John Sugar. I can't actually tell you really any more than that. I hope those hooks have got you, because the show itself, you're watching it and you're like, this is really well made. It's really interesting. And then the last or second to last episode of the first season, something happens that turns everything in its head. And I mean that like M. Night Shyamalan sort of twist we're talking here. I've never seen a show do anything like this before. In a way, you're like, is it maybe going a bit too far? I think the show totally like lands, and the fact that we are getting this second season, the cliffhanger it was left on was tantalising. You were like, I really want to know. So like Colin Farrell is back, like all the work he's done like on the Batman and like the Banshees at Inisherin where he won like these awards. The guy is just, he's one of the best in the business now, and if you can get him in your TV show, you're going to be doing great. But Sugar is well worth a watch. It's like nice, easy, like half-hour episodes. You can blast it. As I say, that twist that's coming, I do not want to spoil it. Do not look it up, because you'll look at it and you'll be like, that sounds crazy. And it is, but when you see it in context, that absolutely makes sense. The show is just rich. It's like, you know, when you were watching, especially during COVID, anybody that knows, like, when they were shooting films, they had a thing called the volume, and you could like basically like make the sets up as like with these big screens, and they felt a bit soulless, I'll be honest. But when it's done right, it's done really right. But it still doesn't beat being shot on location, and the fact that you're getting LA in here, it just there's a warmth that just lights don't give you. Sugar will have episode 1, which is live from Friday yesterday, when this goes live, so you'll have at least an episode to watch, but you've also got the first season, because you're going to have to watch that first. But yeah, that's going to be on Apple TV. You're going to have a great time with it if you're in any kind of LA set noir. Man, you are in for a treat. And the second of the shows that I think we should be watching, less than a week, 25th of June, you've got the final season 5 of The Bear. Again, it's one of those ones that, similar to The Pitt, I know people that have watched it and have been like, I developed anxiety watching this, and I totally get it, but when the bear hits really hard. I have loved it for the beginning. Some of the seasons, which is good for yous, I think ended maybe a little softly, and the fact that we're straight into a new season is going to be exciting. And the good thing is, it drops at once, so you get to do that total binge, which is like what most people want, innit? Like, I do like a wee, water cooler moment, and the final show that we talk about is very much like that you can stand about going, oh my god, did you see what just happened? There's a pressure that you need to watch all these episodes before you get back into work to discuss them. But yeah, The Bear starts off at a family drama. Sandwich shop gets taken over after the death of a brother, and it's left his sibling, and it just goes from there and grows arms and legs. It's got some of the kind of craziest acting. You'll see it's almost like a stage play at some points where they don't even cut. It just follows. It's really funny. It's really sweet. There's some really moving moments in it. It's just Jeremy Allen White just anchors that show. I can't say enough good things about it. Plus, as I say, you've got 5 seasons to watch, nearly 50 episodes. It's just that good, and it'll probably make you want a really nice sandwich, or maybe like a 8-course meal, just depending on how you're feeling. The Bear itself just sells itself, so I feel like I don't need to tell that many people about it, purely just because driving to work, you actually see a billboard for it. So it's a pretty well known, well thought of TV show. So that's fine. Finally, and I mean, if anybody knows me, knows TV at all, they know what's coming. Every Monday, for the next 8 weeks, you've got House of the Dragon season 3. It's going to be emotional. What can be said that's not already been said about the show before? But it's starting with the Battle of the Gullet, which, in my opinion, and I think you need to remember as well, there was strikes on when the production of this show was happening for season 2. So this is almost like the epilogue of the second season going into the third. But it's Game of Thrones again. It's back to that level of quality in my opinion. We've already had the Night of the Seven Kingdoms this year, which I mean, brought some tears to the eyes. It was that good. House of the Dragon, it's one of the few shows that you wake up at 5 to go to the gym, and that's absolutely fine, but it can be tough when House of the Dragon's on, getting up at 5 in the morning to get to the gym, to then come home and have a cup of tea and watch the show before you go to work, because you're just that invested in it. It's a pretty easy ask. We're going to have just dragons, battles. Mate, like I'm salivating at the thought of this, and it's not just the sandwiches for the bear we're talking about. This is going to be, from what I've read and from what I know, some pretty much landmark battle television. We talk about the Battle of the Bastards for Game of Thrones. Even Blackwater, which was really low key when you go back and watch Game of Thrones, but It's going to be exciting, man. My favourite. If you're going to talk about battles, obviously we're talking about like Lord of the Rings, Helm's Deep and stuff. But if you're talking purely just from the Game of Thrones universe, I'm a hard home kind of guy. I think that the one shot with the dragon glass and the Valyrian steel sword hitting and catching and killing the White Walker, man, it's pretty exciting. But I think we could be on a point here where, you know what, this might have some competition here for greatest battles. You know, I'm a sucker for sea battles, I'm a sucker for dragons. You know, and there's some characters in here that I'm really fond of. So it'll be interesting to see where we end up. And this is only the first like 2 episodes, so after that, who knows? All bets are off. But yeah, it's a pretty exciting time. Those have been my picks. That sounded like a cut there, but it really wasn't. But those have been my picks for TV shows that are coming out, TV shows that are going to be coming out, and what should be watching. Just because it's a pretty good time to be watching. If you're being totally honest, I know the weather's not been the best, and if you're a new parent, there you go, man. You are sorted. That's like a good 70, 80 hours worth of TV you could spread out as thin or as thick as you want. It's a pretty good time. This has been one of those episodes where, like, I'm trying to bridge a gap. I have so many interviews coming up, and I'm so excited to get and do them. But I want to bridge a gap and just kind of like, it feels like a nice wee refresh. It's like sitting down, you can get a coffee, you can listen if you're doing your daily commute, or if it's a Saturday when we go live, so you could be doing something in the house, the kitchen. I was going to say the garden, but as I say, the weather has not been very conducive for any gardening work. But yeah, like this is like sitting down with your pal. We can just gab and chat about music, chat about TVs, chat about movies. It's just getting that way. So I just I appreciate you taking the time to listen to the show and go for there. Remember, if you want to get in touch, you can do that through our socials. The Whisky Sour Hour, which, did you see the new artwork? I think that looks pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Probably deserves a wee like, perhaps. But yeah, new podcast artwork on the Facebooks, Instagrams. But best way to get in touch with us, DM us. If you want to email us, contact@thewhiskeysourhour.com. And if you're feeling really saucy, you could leave a little comment. We follow, a little follow, subscribe goes a long way, or even a share. We love it. And a wee story, bit of music. It always goes a long way. But yeah, no, it has been an absolute pleasure. I hope you have a great Saturday. And yeah, some exciting things to come. I've been Thomas Waddle. This has been the Whisky Sour Hour. Cheers.